Hello. Hello, dear student. Please confirm whether my voice is audible or not. Hello. Please confirm my voice, audio, video, everything is okay or not, so that we can proceed without having any disruption. So please confirm whether everything. Please confirm whether my voice is audible or not. ठीक है, चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं. चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं. So, dear student, very good morning to all of you. Hope you all are doing well and you are quite happy. So today we are going to see about third. Today we are going to see about 3rd August, the Hindu newspaper. So 3rd August, the Hindu newspaper analysis. So dear student, our discussion main intention is not only reading about the newspaper, but to find the utility. Like, if there is an article, then why it is important, whether it is important for your prelims, mains, or interviews. And if it is interview in prelims, then what kind of question they can ask. If it is important for mains, then which section of your subject, like GS1, GS2, GS3, and within that any particular subject, they can ask this question. That is what our prime intention and prime motive of it. Okay. And I'm during this discussion, so I'm going to give you 10 to 15 tasks. So it is your it is your homework. You have to note them down during the discussion. So you can note them in your copy. And after completion of this discussion, generally the discussion is not more than 45 minutes, because I'm not stretching too much, because I'm expecting you also read this newspaper. Okay. So I'm just completing it in 45 minutes, and after that spend another 45 minutes and do some Googling and do some find internet and make note of it. And it is my promise, you'll get 20 to 30 marks in your prelims extra and 80 plus marks in your mains. Okay? That is what the importance of the newspaper. If you are able to understand what newspaper what news you have to study and what news you have to skip it. And first thing, how you can get this PDF. So you can scan this QR code to download our application. There is a called Premium Infographics. So you can get that, and we are charging 300 rupees per year, so which is less than 1 rupee. So I think you can afford that to get this. You can save a lot of time. So next, you can scan this QR code to join our channel. So next, those who are using iOS device or iPad, so you can download Class Plus application and use Orgo code HPKRMEJ to get it. And or another, we are also providing daily current affair, other stuff. So to get that, you can simply scan this QR code to join our Telegram channel also. So first important news is Rahul Gandhi claim 2024 poll rigged election commission level it is a baseless and allegation. This is a political news. I know that. But why it is important for our examination? So whenever you are talking about integrity and the unbiasedness, about all these constitutional bodies, so they need to be very much what is really matter in public eye. It's perception is more important than reality. So this is a very good time that election commission should come out very clean and make everything open, so that there should not be any iota of any doubt regarding the elections commission. So no doubt, because in a democracy, there is every right of the opposition. They can accuse the election commission, government, anyone. But it should be the responsibility of this election commission of India to open off, and whatsoever may be the claim should be given everything to the public in an unbiased and meritorious way, so that we can make sure that our election commission is impartial in the eyes of the public. Okay. So next is that the Prajwal get jail for a remainder of his natural life in sex abuse case. So here it is a very good judgment. So even those who are in the power, former MP, also the grandson of the then Prime Minister, a court is given life imprisonment. And so that means you can see the wheel of justice is very powerful. Whosoever may be, howsoever powerful this person is, ultimately it is the powerfulness of the justice that can drag the, it is a large hand of the justice system that drag the people. Okay. Next is about, this article is talking about, Kerala non walk out of the Chhattisgarh prison on bail. So, this is what the political news. We are not concerned about political news. Our news is about Article 25 and forced conversion. So this is what allegation is given by the Bajrang Dal or other local people. So we are going to see it. Article 25 provide for freedom of speech and expression. So what it is guarantee? So you have to remember that, because in Supreme mains they can be very good question about freedom of conscience versus freedom of forced conversion. So you can say freedom of conscience, profess, practice, propagate your religion. This is what given under Article 25. So what are the limitations? Subject to the public morality, health and other fundamental rights. So force conversion, so legal position. ठीक है. So force conversion का क्या legal position है? Constitutional principle. So Article 25 allow propagation, not force conversion. You can propagate your religion, you can teach about your religion, about good aspect of religion, but that doesn't mean forcibly converting other person. Only voluntary conversion is protected. That means if person is voluntarily converting one religious to another religion, then only it is protected. Supreme Court stand in Rev Stanless versus MP. No right to convert other by force. Conversion by fraud, force, and allurement is prohibited. That means you cannot convert other person by using force, coercion, or allurement means by paying money or promising that will provide job or something. So that is what prevented in our constitution. So next is anti-conversion law. Even state like Odisha, MP, UP, Gujarat, Karnataka, so they have passed anti-conversion law. If anyone involved in such kind of conversion, they can be penalized. So under this ground, recently these non are arrested. So key provision: prior notice to the authority required, conversion by force, fraud and allurement prohibited, burden of proof on the converter, penalty for violation. So why it is important? Because Article 25 provides for propagation, not conversion. So only voluntary conversion constitutionally valid if the conversion is voluntarily and without any due pressure or allurement, then it is valid. So state law can regulate conversion, balance between religious freedom and preventing exploitation. Administrative role in monitoring and verification. So current relevance kya hai? Because currently we have seen that debate regarding love jihad, mass conversion issue, and religious freedom and conversion anti-conversion law balance. So we need to find a balance between these two, because currently we are facing this kind of problem. So next is Megalia probing disappearance of coal from the depot, say Deputy Chief Minister. Recently it is found that huge amount of coal from a depot in Meghalaya being missed. This news is not much important, but what is important is written in the box. So in Meghalaya, it is known for rat hole mining. So what is rat hole mining? Let's say this is a big mountain. So in mountains, there is a coal mining is located. So initially they dig a small hole, and by using low height, so anyone can crawl inside. And after that, there are connecting lines so that they are used to extract the coal and come out from here. But being, you can say, about the rat hole, that means it is very dangerous also. If in case water is entering into this rat hole, so it is very dangerous. So I'm just showing you about the rat hole mining so that you can understand rat hole mining. A second. I'm just showing you about rat hole mining so you can see. You can see here how dangerous it is, rat hole mining. So even in past also, so many people are died because of rat hole mining when water from the nearby river entering into, and people are no other option to escape. So this is the entrance, and after that, this kind of things you'll find. So mostly they employ the children and migrant workers. So this is also a rat hole mining. Okay, so because of its very severe danger and severe, human right violation, so multiple occasion we have seen, like it is being banned. So the High Court has constituted a panel to assess the extent of illegal mining and transportation of the coal in the state. So National Green Tribunal banned the hazardous practice of rat hole mining in state by 2014. So way back in 14, rat hole mining is being banned, but still it is illegally practiced. So if there is a question, rat hole mining is basically practicing for what kind of mining? So basically it's in coal. So location you can say in Megalia. So it was quite in news because so many past also so many migrant workers had died in a rat hole mining in Meghalaya. So you can, in ethics also you can write about like profit versus your ethics. If you're talking about dilemma, profit versus human right, ethical dilemma what you are facing. So profit versus human right. So you can talk about rat hole mining. The owner of the rat hole mining, they are concerned about the profit, while that is severely impacting the human right of those who are involved in the rat hole mining. Okay, so dear student, those who are giving next year exam, so that after prelims hardly 75 days is left. Generally in previous around 110 plus days are there. Previous year I'm talking about. So only 75 days, it is very difficult to cover GS and essay and optional. So better to start writing answer from now rather than waiting after the prelim. So you can start practicing the answer writing by joining our daily answer writing program. It is completely flexible. You can write question of your own choice, or you can write question that we are providing. You can either write daily 2 question or half length in a week, or full length test in a 14 days. It's completely flexible question of your choice. Same thing, you can also join our essay program. It is also same, completely flexible. You can write essay of your choice, or you can write the essay that we are providing. Okay, you can scan this QR code to explore our courses. So next is Noxil are receding. What now? What? So this article is talking about, why. If you study about this article, so you can understand why Noxil has been infested in India. If you find why Noxil is only available in rural area, tribal area, backward area, you'll find that it is back because of the lack of infrastructure development. That is what acting as a breeding ground for the Naxal to spread. So that means when people are not seeing the government, they're not seeing the development, they are frustrated about the government, about the exploitation of the local forest officials and other things, that can be act as a breeding ground for the Naxal to sprawl. So this article is talking about, Chhattisgarh, how, once used to be very area without having any road, without having any network, electricity. So people are in abject poverty. So that can be breeding ground for the Naxalism. Now, with removal of, Naxals, and we are also committing development. So that is the reason recently we are seeing so many people are surrendering due to this initiative. So you can see here something written. So large tribal administrative division of Bastar comprising 7 districts, including Narayanpur. It is here the security forces have mounted an aggressive campaign and gunning down 425 allegedly moist since December 2023. Earlier 2025, Home Ministry Amit Shah had said that social media, all Naxal should be eradicated by March 2026. So by March 2026, we have to eliminate all the Naxals. So the terrorism and the terrain and scattered. So there is a big question why this Naxal area or the tribal area we cannot develop. So whenever you are talking about, or whenever you are writing anything regarding why it is very difficult for the development of the tribal area, this is what is answer. So I'm just putting it box. It is very important. So this point is very important. So in tribal area, what is the problem? The terrain and the scattered population. So population, they don't, just like in Delhi, so all population are residing in a small area. So it is very easy to develop. But in tribal population, hardly 5 to 6 home here. Then 20 kilometer after, or 10 kilometer, 5 kilometer after, there are 5 to 4 households. So it is very difficult for connecting roads. So the terrain and the scattering population make the reaching people expensive. We have to utilize fund in a cost-effective manner. For example, government, you can see if you are able to provide a road, it will cost around 1 crore. So do you think that government is having that much of fund? So that is what the problem, because tribal people, they are having terrain, difficult terrain, like, hilly, mountain, river, so make very difficult for construction of road. Second, people are scattered. They don't, stay in a together place. So that is what the problem we are facing for development of the tribal area. So please read this article. So it is very important for your essay, because in essay you can use this as a good story, good anecdote to start about, if there is a quote, there is a essay, poverty anywhere is a threat to prosperity everywhere. So if there is a essay, poverty, please note down, poverty everywhere is a threat to poverty anywhere. Just rewriting, poverty anywhere is a threat to prosperity. Prosperity everywhere. So in this kind of essay, that means, whenever people are suffering at a particular area, so they might turn into a bidding ground for the Naxalism, and Naxal might utilize this and start attacking our population. So you can use this as an anecdote or story to start your answer writing. So next important development, ISRO to targets 2027 launch for this semi-cryogenic engine stage. So let me explain you in detail. So we have launched vehicle named PSLV. So PSLV. So we are using what kind of fuel? It is solid, liquid, solid, liquid. So alternate stage we are using, and liquid engine is called Vikas engine. Liquid engine. But next we have developed GSLV. So what we are using in GSLV? So in GSLV, so first one is solid, second one is liquid, and third one is cryogenic. Okay? So if we can use our fuel, like for example, if we can use solid, the next stage is semi-cryogenic, then cryogenic. So that means we can lift heavy vehicles. So currently we can maximum lift of around 4 tons to the GTO, geo transfer orbit. But for launch of human mission and big mission, we need 20 ton, 30 ton satellite that can carry it by in a single launch. So for that, we need to develop semi-cryogenic upper stage. Okay? So the Indian Space Research Organization aim to ensure that 2027 launch of its first launch vehicle Module 3 equipped with semi-cryogenic propulsion. Right now, we are on track, power head. Now we are testing everything. So you can see about the formally, the currently we are having GSLV Mark 3 as a like that can lift off around, you can see here 4.2 tons, but with the test of this semi-cryogenic engine. So that will enhance our payload capability, so that by using single mission, we can lift off heavy satellite, and also it will going to helpful for our interplanetary missions. Okay. So currently capability to lift off 4.2 payload to the geosynchronous transfer orbit LVM3 see significant changes when it is fitted with semi-cryogenic stage. So L110 stage, which use liquid propellant, will be replaced by semi-cryogenic stage, which use propellant combination of kerosene and liquid oxygen. Okay. So just read whatever possible. No need to go in detail. So this engine is named as SC 2000 semi-cryogenic engine designed to supply 200 tons of power. So here I have just given a video of ISRO. So you can see it. Just read it. You'll understand. So why it is important. So next is Bangaluru Metro facilitate life-saving liver delivery. So our urban area nowadays became very congested. So if we have to transplant or ensure the donation of the you can say about the organs, so we need to have a faster delivery system. And that urban area, it's very difficult for traveling 50 kilometers, 60 kilometers, it will take around 3 to 4 hours. So in this backdrop, so metro can be a game changer for timely delivery. So next is Kerala Film Meet flag the minimum wage women safety on the set. Why it is important? Whenever you are talking about, the women empowerment, right of the women and employment of the women, equal right of the women, you need to talk about, HEMA panel, I think about HEMA panel. HEMA panel actually a committee formed by the Kerala film industry. They have found that gross violation of human right, women particularly sexual abuse at the workplace are rampant. They have been found that. So on that basis, so recently there is a meeting happened. So where there is a lot of debate have been going on. So first day of the Kerala Film Policy Conclave organized by the Cultural Department here Saturday to witness discussion host of issue raised by the Malayalam film, ranging from the contract agreement and minimum wage to the gender justice and high price food in the cinema. So here, this is very important. Like, if you are talking about what kind of problem our cinema industry is facing. So major issue raised regarding women's safety on set was need of improving function of the internal complaint committee. So each and every organization need to form an internal complaint committee. This is under the POSH Act. POSH Act means Prevention of Sexual Harassment at Workplace. This act is enacted in 2013. So this act we have enacted in 2013 after Supreme Court given its verdict in Visakha guideline. Like, how we can protect our women at the workplace with clear definition of workplace. So safe place to stay, all basic facilities should be ensured for women during period of shots. During shooting of any movie, so it is the responsibility of the film producer to ensure that all safety should be provided to the women. So next, legal protection against the cyber attacks and online hate campaign was demanded. So it also raises that in movie 80% of the budget is devoted towards the lead actor. Then very less amount of money is left for the other people. So this is what we need to correct also. So dear student, my voice is audible. Everything is okay or not? So please comment in the comment box. Please comment in the comment box, like audio, video, any issue, so that I can understand and correct timely. So we can see Operation Mahadev. photos from the encounter site 2024 help identifying the terrorist. So here it is clearly given this terrorist have been neutralized by under the operation Mahadev. So dear student, you can join our UPSC prelims test series by scanning this QR code. So next is heart of justice must remain human. Technology only a tool. So this is what said by the Supreme Court judges. So no doubt currently we are developing AI, big data, machine learning, and a lot of digital technology. But ultimately, it cannot replace the human things because ultimately we have the sympathy, compassion. We can understand the ground reality. That is what here it is saying the judgment is saying about. This is Justice Suryakant of Supreme Court said that whenever how it is important, I'm just putting that in context. So if any question, do you think that AI will replace the human in all aspect of life? You can talk about the judiciary. No, justice cannot, AI cannot replace the human in justice delivery because justice delivery is a very unique thing. You cannot treat, crime like theft. Let's say a older person committing a theft and a kid committing a theft. So you cannot compare them both, and you have to consider the situational factor also. And AI cannot be answer to this situation. So that is the reason we need human being at the justice delivery system. At max, AI can augment the human capability. It cannot replace the human capability. That is what you have to argue. So Justice Suryakant, the Supreme Court said on this Saturday that though technology could make justice delivery system and legal art efficient, it could not replace the human touch. Technology is only a tool. Heart of the justice must remain in the human. So that means technology should not replace the human. So in a world where machine write poetry, algorithm predict the behavior, we must remain justice still a human act. It is not rendered by the bandwidth but by the conscience. The greatness of a law lies not in the authority but service. It is not the rigidity but in the compassion. So this can be a very good quote for your SNI. So whenever you are talking about how technology is replacing, in paper they are giving a lot of good things, but you have to identify them and remember them. If you can write about this can be a very good, this can be a very good point in your essay, even in your ethics also. So you need to understand that. So next is you are speaking on the bridging the digital gap and reimagining legal art in digital age for inclusive justice in India. So here, Justice Kant is executive chairman of the National Legal Service Authority Act. So dear student, tell me in the comment box which. So I'm just going to give you detail about the NALSA, National NALSA. So NALSA is established under the Legal Service Authority Act. 1987. So you have to study it in very detail. So dear student, tell me in the comment box which two article of the Indian Constitution that provide for access to justice and free legal aid. Which two article of the Constitution specifically talking about access to justice and free legal aid? So under this Legal Service Act, under the Legal Service Act 1987, it is provided for establishment of NALSA, National Legal Service Authority Act, then SALSA, State Legal Service Authority Act, DALSA, District Legal Service Authority Act, at the district level, state level, at the national level. So to provide free legal aid to the vulnerable section of the society, because in our constitution, access to justice and free legal aid is a constitutional right. So we need to ensure that. So that is what it is very important. Okay. So just read it out, you will understand. So recently, Trump says that he heard India won't buy Russia. No, I'll just ignore Donald Trump, as he's keep on talking whatever he like. I don't know his mental state is good or not. So just don't need to study this, just ignore it. So call Grow to set off permanent national commission for denotified tribes. So what do you mean by denotified tribes? So these are the tribes, they're nomadic. You can see here, call are growing for establishment of a permanent national commission for denotified nomadic, semi-nomadic tribes with issue of finding primacy discussion for the National Conference on Denotified held in the Delhi. So they want a commissions to be established so that their interests can be protected at the national level, at the state level. Call to set up a permanent national commission for community has been declared criminal under the erstwhile colonial government. So these tribes are during colonial time called as born criminal. The moment a child is born from that family, the day one that child is criminal. So that is what the discriminatory practice they are facing. And even now also people call them as a criminal. So they are they are keep migrating from one place to another place, and they are not getting the benefits. So that is the reason they are expecting a commission to be established. And if commission is established, their right is going to be protected. So the denotified nomadic and semi-nomadic community members spoke of importance of work done by IDATE commission. So you have to remember what is the recommendation given by the IDATE commission. Okay, notified, denotified tribe. So and commission given recommendation. Here it is given. Bhikkhu Ramaji Idate submitted its report, actions to be taken for protection and development of denotified tribes. This includes completion of classification of this community and setting up a permanent national commission. So you need to study it because they are very, very vulnerable people. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. So Odisha Gal allegedly set fire, dies, police reject the attack angle. So recently we have seen back to back multiple immolation cases is emerging from the Odisha. One is from the Pakirmon University. Now this case is involving, and police deny the angle of attack by anyone. And unfortunately, the girl is died in AIMS Delhi. So next is 12 lever injured as landslide hit hydro. Dekho how it is important. Why this news is important? This is important because we have seen rising violence against women. So, first case about the Fakirmon University, sexual allegation of sexual harassment led to the death. Second one, it is attacked by the some three miscreants. So that is a clear indication that violence against women is increasing. That is the reason it is important for, talking about women empowerment in the society. There is a topics also. So 12 lever injure as landslide hit hydropower project in Chamoli. So why this article is very important? So we have to understand if, let's say this is, I'm just roughly drawing, let's say this is our, India. So let's say this is India. So here it is Himalaya. This is Himalaya, and Himalaya is youngest mountain. So that means there is this plate is pushing off. Here is plate is pushing off. So because of that, we are seeing huge mountain. So when mountain is rising, that means this region is unstable. So prone to landslide. Here is also the Western Ghat. Western Ghat is also unstable. So this is also prone to the landslide. Even in the northeast also prone to the landslide. So you have to understand three regions of India. They are much more prone to the landslide. They are Himalaya, Western Himalaya, Eastern, Northeast, and Western Ghats, some region of the even Eastern Ghat also. So this can be a very good example. And this is also an example that the high level of developmental activity that is we are carrying out at the Himalaya, and because of that we are seeing so many landslide devastation. So that means we need to protect our fragile geology of Himalaya. That is what also important for our examination. So next is Odisha Chhattisgarh may amicably solve Mahanadi water dispute. So Mahanadi water dispute, Mahanadi is flowing through both Chhattisgarh and Odisha. So it is almost passing through both the state equally. So Mahanadi is lifeline for both the Chhattisgarh and Odisha. So there is a dispute arose because Odisha complaining that in Chhattisgarh they are constructing huge amount of barrier bridge on the upper course, so that might reduce the supply of water to Odisha during the lean season, and the flood season they might release the water, so that might cause the flood in the Odisha. So Odisha government they accuse that because of such activity, such action, so it might naturally kill the Mahanadi river. So after this dispute, so case is gone to the Interstate River Water Dispute Tribunal. So they have formed a Mahanadi River Water Dispute Tribunal, and now on the recommendation of Ministry of Jal Shakti, so they have formed a joint commissions to settle this dispute amicably, by peaceful manner. So it is your homework, dear student. Tell me in the you have to study about Article 262, that is talking about a resolution of interstate river water dispute. Then next is Interstate River Water Dispute Act. Then next is establishment of Interstate River Water Dispute Tribunal. And what are the challenges that we are facing in the Interstate River Water Dispute Tribunal? And recently government is proposed that setting up a single tribunal with multiple benches so that cases can be dissolved in very fast. So you will also have to study about Interstate River River Valley Act, Interstate River Valley Act 1950 Interstate River Valley Act 1956, already available in Lakshmikant. So whenever you are studying about interstate dispute, so please study it very well. So there can be multiple questions. And dear student, we are also providing Odisha specific current affair. So daily current affair, weekly current affair, you can get it by scanning this QR code. We are also providing Odisha Prelims series. So price is very nominal. We know that so many people are cannot afford this much amount of money because the other there are high charges of the test. So you can join it. So next important news is helicopter operation whipped with unofficial ban on flying Uttarakhand. देखो, we know that the Kedarnath and other places of religious places of Uttarakhand, so helicopter operation being used past, but after series of accident that is being happened, state government ban flying of all this helicopter. But this helicopter operator, they are saying that they are only going to follow the regulation given by DGCA, Director General of Civil Aviation, and they are not going to see the regulation or not going to follow the regulation given by the state government. So that is what it is very important. This much is important, not much very important. So you need to know about who is regulating what. So next is post office. So post office across India accept digital payment soon. So post office across India to accept digital payment soon. So even as Indian Post phase out register post, so it merged with the speed post, and it is a good news that all our post office, they are going to accept the digital payment. So next is exporter fear tariff likely to dent high volume US market. So you know that USA is a major destination of export from the India. So the exporter of textile, garment and engineering goods fear that 25% tariff recently being imposed by Donald Trump on Indian goods may impact India's export. Okay, so we have but also yes, so we know that USA is exporting, USA is importing, and we are exporting a lot of textile item to the USA. So we have impressed upon the minister that 60 to 70% of exporter go to the USA, and if the tariff is increased to higher level, so it is going to impact our export of our garment. While at the same time, other market of Asian market like Vietnam, Indonesia, and other countries, they are also getting favorable trade benefit from the USA. So that means they are emerging as a cheap competitor or major competitor to India. So that might impact our export in the long term. So we have to factor all this factor while counting, while negotiating for a better trade deal. So next is India will keep buying Russian oil, say government sources. So India will keep purchasing oil from the Russia despite US President Donald Trump threatening to penalty. So this is what said by the Indian government, because we need to concern about our self-interest, just like the US is concerned about their self-interest. They are knowing that Pakistan has been repeatedly promoting terrorism, acting against the interest of the US, even sheltering the Laden. Still, they are favoring the Pakistan. So why we should listen to everyone? Any country, if any country is giving favorable trade deal to us, so it's better we should capitalize that. Okay, so it is so simple to just stop buying overnight, because India is saying that we are signing long-term contract. So these are long-term contracts. So simply we cannot stop buying immediately just because Donald Trump is saying do so. Okay, so this is what important. Just keep a tap of it, so there can be a good question. And dear student, you can scan this QR code to join our CSAT PYQ. You can scan this QR code to join our NCERT test also. So next there is a good article. World highest bird death rate at Thar Desert wind farm. So recently we are pushing towards our renewable energy, and India is having around 1100 gigawatt of wind energy. Just note them down. Already UPSC asked in a mains question about the potential of the wind energy. Okay, so here the data is given, very good data, so you can note them down. Okay, so India is having potential of around 1200 gigawatt of solar energy. Okay, but problem is that we have installing so much solar energy, so it is creating huge noise. It is acting as a barrier for the bats, all this bats. So, and we are also constructing the you can say electricity lines. So because of that, already we have seen that Great Indian Bostards are dying because of high tension electric cables, and birds are also stuck in this, wings of this, you can say the wind turbine. And when it is rotated, it is creating a lot of vibration and noise. So, most of the animals, they migrate by using sound or something like that. So that is what creating disturbances. And we are also planning to construct all this windmill in the offshore. So means, let's say this is India. Offshore, this is ocean. So here we'll plant, all this windmills so they can generate electricity. But when in water, they will create a lot of noise. So we know that dolphin, they migrate one place to another place by using this. So that is what going to impact the, you can say the ecology and environment of that region. So it is found that large number of birds being died because of this windmills. Okay. So next important article is talking about here. So how deep is the earth? So if the question is how deep is the earth? So if you go into deep, so you will find that even at the deep inside the water. So the question is, how deep life can possible within the water. So you might think about 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, because after if you go deep 100 meter, 200 meter, after that there is no sunlight. So there might not be any life possible. But when the researcher that deep inside the Challenger Deep at 8.1 kilometers, so they found life is surviving there. Then this raise a big question: how come this is possible? So researcher exploring Kuril and Kamchatka Aleutian Trench. So dear student, you have to map that. How you can map that? Simple, open your Google Earth. Simple, open your Google Earth. Where is Google Earth? Yes, simple, open your Google Earth and search this term. So you'll find here it is the Aleutian Trench. Okay, these are the Aleutian Trench. Okay. Okay, Aleutian Trench is here. This arc is called Aleutian Trench. So next the Kamchatka Aleutian Trench discovered that deepest known community life powered by chemosynthesis. That means photosynthesis, the microorganism, they use light, but in chemosynthesis they use chemicals, like the chemical that is being generated from the deep from the surface of the bottom of the ocean. So that is what called chemosynthesis, where organisms get energy from chemicals like methanes and hydrogen sulfide instead of sunlight. The community dominated. So there can be a good question: what is chemosynthesis? How chemosynthesis form? Chemosynthesis form when, you can say, methane is combined with hydrogen sulfide, they generate this power. So they found the worms, they found a lot of worms. So so chemically rich fluid rose to the geological fault. These fluids are created by microbe breaking down organic matter, producing methane that may form hydrates. Okay? Suggested that these ecosystems may be more widespread and highlight a potential new role of deep sea microbes in Earth carbon cycles. So if you are finding large number of microbes deep inside the ocean, so that is what suggesting that there can be a new sort of ecology there. Okay? And we need to study more about it. So next is simpler test could slash the biosimilar cost, widen the access. So dear student, you need to know two things. Let's say I'm investing, one particular medicine, and after that I've discovered some medicine. And if that medicine is discovery, so I'll get a patent for 20 years. So that means I'm having exclusive right to manufacture, produce this medicine for 20 years. For this 20 years, no one can copy without my permission. Okay? After end of 20 years, so whatever my invention, it is open to everyone. So anyone can remanufacture, redesign. So in that case, we can call this is a generic medicine or biosimilar, because the process, generic medicine is generally called in case of simple medicine. If it is a simple medicine, then it's called generic medicine. But it is a complex biological molecules, then we call it a biosimilarity, because the process through which I have been manufacturing these things and design or produce these things. But if someone is copying and start doing that, so it is quite different. It's quite different than what the way I have followed. So because of that, so there will be some difference between the vaccine that I'm making or medicine that I'm making and person that is copying. So though there is minor difference, but efficiency is same, then only we can say both are biosimilarity. There is a biosimilarity. So I've given a difference. So generic versus biosimilarity. So chemical synthesis, living organism. So simple molecules, complex molecules. They're identical, highly similar. So cost reduction, if there is a patent product available or selling by me, so I'll charge very high price because there is no competition. Once my patent is over, so anyone can make that generic medicine. So price will reduce. So price is reduced little bit of less. So bioequivalence clinical trial. So easier and complex. Just read it. You'll understand about lot about it. Okay. चलिए last page को चलते हैं. So here you can talk about culture. So Konkan's own derby. So despite heavy rain and red alert, villagers in Ratnagiri turn up for large number for the traditional Nan-Garni Spardha. So Nan-Garni Spardha. So if I'm not able to pronounce properly, I'm really sorry for that. So please write in the comment box if anyone know that exact pronunciation. Nan-Garni Spardha. So where farmer rest their prized oxen. So villager in Ratnagiri district of Maharashtra witnessed massive turnout for a Nan-Garni Pradha, the traditional plowing race. So here both bull they plow a field, and those who have achieved the fast pace, they've been awarded. So this long-standing tradition continue to unite rural community, honoring the bond between farmer and their oxen while celebrating vibrant culture and spirit of Konkan monsoon season. So those who are winner, they are also giving lot of prize also. And so it is also there are people who are specifically trained for this race also. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. So recently we are seeing so many racial attack in the Japan and China. It in Japan, so Chinese people are attacked in Japan, and China, Japanese people are attacked. So that is what clear indication of rising genophobia. So what do we mean by genophobia? Hatred. That means hatred for one race against another race. Hatred for one nation against another nation. Just like Pakistan is suffering from genophobia against the India. Pakistani people, they simply have a genophobia. So that is what called genophobia. Okay. So India in Ireland urged to take reasonable precautions. So recently we have seen so many attacks are targeted towards Indian community in Ireland. So because of that, our government issued an advisory. So those who are staying in India, there should be precaution. Turkey starts supplying Azerbaijan gas to Syria. So first one is why it is important, because it is important to diaspora. So these are our diaspora people. So if you look into, so there are around 90,000 Indian origin people staying in the Ireland. So what is the capital of Ireland? It is Dublin. I think here it is given. Just a second. Yes, you have to study about the capital of the Ireland. Okay? So just remember that name of this island. Yes, Dublin. Okay? Dublin is the capital of Ireland. So sometime they might ask about Dublin is located which east, west of the North Sea, west. So if you don't know about what which is located is it, so it is very difficult for you to correct this answer. Na? So Turkey starts supplying Azerbaijan gas to Syria. So this is very important because this region is quite conflict and UPSC very favorite. So no need to go in detail. At least go through the map. Turkey, where is Azerbaijan, and conflict between Azerbaijan and Armenia. Which side India is. There is a region called Karabakh Nagorno that is being fight by both Azerbaijan and both the Armenia and Azerbaijan. They are fighting in the Karabakh and Nagorno region. And recently we are also seeing that the Syria, the government under the Bashar al-Assad has been toppled and new government is formed. So Syria is, restarting its economy. So they need fuel. And recently, even India also, we are also starting to reset our ties so that we can improve our ties in a good way. So recently, we have also held so many meetings with, foreign officials also. So next is Bangladesh interim government to unveil July declaration on August 5. So Bangladesh government, they are promising to start the July declarations to commemorate the participation or recognize the participation of the student leader in this movement. So dear student, if you want to practice the PYQ test or 2025 test in a real time, so we are already providing GS1 and CSAT in our application. So please go through it and practice one so that you can get a real time feel of how exam is going to conduct. And if you want free mentorship and Sunday podcast where you can talk to me, you can scan this QR code and join our Telegram group and our application also. So next is how will Trump tariff impact India? So I think you know it very well. So recently, if you look into our export basket, so majorly our export destination you will find it is USA. So if there is a high tariff that is being impacted, definitely it is going to impact our GDP. So if you look into, so definitely it is going to impact 0.2% of our GDP. So that might lead to this slowdown. And our sector like, textile, leather, then, machine goods. So that is what going to suffer the most. Okay? So and we are also negotiating a free trade agreement with the Donald Trump. So we are also planning to have the free trade agreement before the fall season. Fall means autumn. So and recently we are also negotiating for a mini trade deal before the 1st of August, but it is not yet materialized. Why not yet materialized? So if you look into demand that is being made by the Donald Trump towards India and what India can give. So USA want Indian agriculture should be opened up for the USA. But you know that 86% of our farmers are small and marginal. If we open agricultural and dairy sector to the USA, so they will flood our market with cheap product. So our farmer will be simply suffer, and they will be already poor, and they have distress of if price of agricultural commodity further fall, it is devastation for us. So government is not ready to open. Second, they want, India should open their GM crop. And in India, we don't allow GM crop also. And next point is, recently they have also given support towards Pakistan, repeatedly they have. So this point is why our relation has been soaring off, why our relation has been going in a bad turn. So because there's so many factors given here, because recently repeated said by the argument by the Donald Trump that he's mediating and solving the nuclear war between India and Pakistan. So that is what creating a lot of troubles. So, given the fact that we are, strategic partner, there is a lot of convergence of interest, and Donald Trump is known for all this, optics type diplomacy, making hype and word in the public statement. So it is better that India should maintain its negotiation diplomacy to find a peaceful solutions to this problem rather than showing, to others. So next is Northeast on the edge about Assam eviction. So what happening? I'm just giving a brief about it. So recently, Assam government want to evict, those who are staying in the forest land, those who have been claiming the forest land. But by doing that, why they are doing? They believe that all those illegal migrant or those who are they believe they are from Bangladeshi or or other Myanmar, so they are colonizing or capturing this land. So they just want to clear this land on that pretext. Even the Guwahati High Court is also given this order for clearance. But if you look into the Assam, so they are mostly doing all this on the Assam border. So if you look into that, Assam is having border with Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Meghalia, and other states. So that is what other state is also having the claim. When disputed territory, so Assam want to evict people, so that led to the direct conflict with other states. So even in past 1 or 2 years, we have seen severe border clashes between Assam and Meghalia. So here, so many police forces have been died. So this issue can be a very goes out of spiral and can become very explosive for in this northeastern region. So we have to be very careful. So next is why UK stand on the Palestine significance. So if before that you can never support the you can never support the Palestinian, but this is first time UK is saying that. So it is high time that Israel should act and cease fire and protect the Palestine. Otherwise, we'll recognize the Palestine. Why it is important? Because the present crisis that we are seeing, the two-state problem, so it is having its root in the British time. So during World War, after the World War One, so when Palestinian was under the control of Ottoman Turks, so at that time, British promised that they will create a state of state for the Jews at the Palestine. So that is what called Balfour Declaration. And later on, SICAD's and Picot Agreement, so they have reinforced that and they have provided settlement of Jewish population there. So after that, at the end of the British mandate, so when British ended their mandate, at that time Israel declared an independent state. So all the Arab nations they together and start declare against the war in 1948, and Israel defeated everyone and emerged victorious. So later on in 1967 also 6-day war happened. So where all Arab nations declared war against the Israel, and this time Israel defeat everyone and capture their territory, like Golan Height from Syria, then the you say about Sinai Peninsula from the Egypt, then West Bank from the Jordan. So that is what they are capturing all the territory, and because of that, present conflict can goes back to this role of the Britain. And now this is the first time Britain is recognizing after the France. Recently, French also recognized that Palestinian territory. So after the French second time, it is the British also recognized. It's very important because currently only China, Russia, two permanent member out of the five permanent member is recognizing Israel. So if both UK and French recognize that, that means only one country that is in support is USA. And both French and UK are also part of the G7, global seven power. So that means there will be shift of power against the Israel. So there might be creation of two states, and one state is Palestine and another is Israel. So that led to the declining in area or control over area under the Israel. So that is what very significance, because if you look into at the international level, out of 193 UN member, 147 already support two-state solution. Even India is also in favor of two-state solution. Okay? So dear student, just read this article. So this is all about the 3rd August, the Hindu newspaper analysis. So dear student, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this video, and please do share this video with your friend. And if you have any suggestion, you are always welcome. Please comment in the comment box. Chaliye, we have to end this session here. Have a good day. Take care. Enjoy this sunlight. Enjoy the Sunday. Chaliye, bye bye.